Hello, fellow travelers. Wanted to get on here and have a little chat real quickly. I was just thinking about why is it so difficult for us as men to ask for help? I don't understand this. Got some theories, but I don't understand why it's so difficult. I was just talking to a good friend of mine, a very close friend. We talk often. We help each other through a lot of these deals that we're working on, through recovery, through healing, through um, uh, issues that we've got going on in life, and we help each other almost every day. And he's going through a hard time right now. He's having some real issues, and he was able to admit just that he's really embarrassed to have to ask me for help, to call and ask for help, and that's one of the issues that he's having right now. And I get it. I get it. And it seems so silly because this is one of my best friends and an absolute brother. I would do anything that I could for him, and I know he'd do anything for me. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling when I'm hurting, when I'm having trouble with something. I don't want to reach out. I don't want to ask for help. It's something to do with not wanting to bother somebody else, not to be a burden on somebody else. It's something to do with having to be strong, feeling like I need to figure it out on my own. And um, I don't, I hate this word toxic masculinity. I think that word has been turned into just a dirty word. But I think in many ways that's the proper terms like that, where we get this masculinity that can be so strong and so powerful in so many ways, and we overdo it and we use it. Um, we allow it to take charge of us in a way where, for instance, we're afraid to ask help for something. You know, that afraid to ask help is a tool and a secret power for me in so many ways. I have this ability to go figure stuff out. I've figured out how to fix almost all the appliances in our house, how to build stuff, repair, um, finagle and do stuff all on my own in my life because I didn't want to ask for help. And it has certainly been a superpower in my life that I go figure stuff out. And at the same time, it can be an absolute detriment for me when I'm afraid to go ask for help with something that I really need help with. I had the perfect example this weekend. I was out with my son and we were riding dirt bikes out at a motocross track. And I come off of the track and I'm hot and I'm tired, but I want to just put my motorcycle up on the back of my truck real quick so I don't have to deal with it afterwards. So I go to push the bike up this ramp, on this big truck, and um, a gentleman comes running over from next door, parked next to me, and he's about to help me. And I said, no, I've got it. I'm good. And I push it up, and about halfway up with kind of one tire on the back of the truck, I feel the bike starting to fall over. I wasn't good. I needed help. And luckily the bike did not fall over on me. You know that moment, it's kind of like the teeter totter where it's right on that zero gravity edge. It is about to fall over. And it hung there for a minute, and maybe the wind just blew just right, but fortunately it didn't fall the other way out of my hands. And I did push it up, and I got it, but that was sheer luck. Um, and I sat there after I got that thing tied on. I'm like, what in the world? Why in the world would I say I don't need help? But this guy's coming over to help me. And fortunately, I've been doing all of this stuff for a while, and I can realize it. And I start laughing at myself, and I actually end up walking over there and talking to him. It's like, I have no idea why I said I've got this. That makes absolutely no sense. And him and I laughed about it. And he admitted that the same thing. He has troubles asking for help with things. And we actually had a good laugh about ourselves. Having to be manly men and all of this stuff that we do. But it's a real issue. it is a real issue with men in our world. And I don't know what the solution is, but I think the start is recognizing it. For us as men to be able to see that sometimes something that is a power and is a strength in one situation is not a strength in the other situation. And being able to look at something as not being black and white, that realizes that there are times that we need to ask for help, that we need to come to another man or a woman, maybe even a kid. Uh, Lord knows there's sometimes we deal with computers and stuff. I need to go to my kids to ask them how to figure this stuff out, and that's okay. We should be okay with that. We need to learn how to be okay with that. How do we deal with ourselves, and how do we recognize that and come to terms with some of these things that we do as men that we feel we have to do or we feel we have to be, that we always have to be strong, that we can never show weakness, that we can never show emotions, that we can never cry in front of other people. And sometimes that might be the most powerful thing that we can possibly do. I was watching a video earlier of a gentleman talking about breaking down and crying in front of his son because his mother had passed away, and thinking that he was showing weakness at that time of that. But it ended up being powerful because his son saw, number one, that he's human, number two, that it's okay to show emotions, and that there can be strength in admitting to your weakness. And I think that's true. I think that's really true. And I'd like to be able to do more of that because I'm not always very good at it. I'd like to think that I'm doing better, and I want to do better. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys. I don't. Um, it hurts me to see my friends hurting and embarrassed to come and ask me for help when I don't see it as a weakness when somebody comes to me for help and I want to help them, especially a friend, family member, somebody in need of help. But I get it because when the tables are turned and I've got to go to somebody for help, I often feel weak and I often feel embarrassed. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Needing to get help sometimes and being able to admit that you need help can be the strongest thing that you can do sometimes. So just want to put that for you guys. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. Um, if you want to tell me I'm weak because I can't do it all myself, well, go ahead if that's what you need to do. But that's why I'm here, is so we can talk about some of this stuff and maybe we can figure out some answers. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great day.